Hi, and welcome to this installment of Frank and Mary here in Westborough. If you haven't seen the show before, my name is Art Bergeron. My day job is as an elder law attorney. I actually work right here in Westborough at Myrick O'Connell. But this is not about my day job. It's about my friends Frank and Mary and their goal, which is to live in their house until they die and be buried in the backyard. And if that's Westborough, that means right here. So the question is, if you're like Frank and Mary, you want to stay right here, who are the people you need to know? What are the programs you need to know about in order to stay right here in Westborough like forever? So Shelby Marshall is my wonderful co-host who has been finding great guests for us just all the time for a long time now. We've been together for quite a while, but we've got a guest that, everybody uses the line, right? Oh, but everybody knows this guest, so it's very exciting. Shelby, whom do we have on today?
Sure. Well, of course, we have Alma DeManche. She is the director of the Senior Center. She is no stranger, certainly, to many of our viewers, nor to Frank and Mary. They go way back.
She's known Frank and Mary and their mother,
Right?
Okay. Let's, I know I got my Medicare card on my birthday in May, but let's not get carried away here.
Well, don't get carried away. All right. Well, I didn't say you knew their grandmother.
Okay. All right. Sadly, I can actually say that we do have some seniors who come here that I did know their parents.
Well, that's a compliment to your longevity and how many years you've been working in service for the town and all the residents. So as many of our viewers may know, but we always hope we have new viewers. Alma has been the director of the Senior Center for many, many years, and we wanted to have her back. We had her on in the middle of COVID, but now that is squarely in the rearview mirror and masks are off, we wanted to have Alma back to talk about what's happening at the Senior Center, how are things reopening, what are the plans, really for the next couple of months. So Alma, welcome, and I know you got a whole list of things you want to talk to us about, so welcome.
Well, we are very excited to be actually opened and fully functioning for the most part. We have a lot of our instructors are back. Some of them are waiting till the fall, but I hope by September we'll be fully up and running with all the good things we had before and some new things. We have been we've been busy around here. It's just been really great to see people in the building. Cribbage players and pool players and the Zumba classes and the knitting and crocheting ladies, and it's been wonderful. So there are some things that we are certainly want to mention right out of the gate. The Senior Center is a cooling center for the town. We've been here till 7 o'clock the last 2 nights, and I imagine I'll be here tonight at least that long. Even if I don't have company, I have managed to get a lot of work done in quiet. But we are here. Please don't sit and suffer at your house. We don't care what, you don't have to get dressed up to come here. Just come, sit. We've got TVs, we've got games, we've got puzzles, we've got cribbage boards, we've got a pool table, we've got, movies, we've got all sorts of things here. So just come and stay cool. Hang out with us for a little while, visit, but please don't sit home and suffer in this heat, because it will do you in quickly.
Yeah, and Alma, to that end, since this is a tape show, just in general for folks that are watching, maybe by the time you're seeing the show, you're like, wow, it's 60 degrees out. Why is there a cooling center active? But the point here really is that the Senior Center has historically been a cooling center. And so if you ever have any questions, we'll make sure that we have the Senior Center phone number that Aiden, our technical support person here from Westborough TV, puts up, so folks can call the Senior Center and ask for the hours. But if you have any needs, but certainly as it relates to during the summer months, finding a cool spot, please don't hesitate to call. Our Senior Center, as well as our library, often function as those. So
yeah, we were trying to decide the other day if, because we already had our had 11, or will have had by the time today's over with 11 over 90 days in June if it was going to snow in, August, because who knows these days. But no, we're here every day, whether the town opens us as officially as a cooling center or not. We're here. Like I said, we're happy to get you. If you can't get here by yourself, we do have the buses on the road. We'll come get you, and we'll get you home too. I won't make you walk. So that's happening all summer. The other part is that we are very excited. We're going to do our Tuesday night programs starting the week after 4th of July, so it'll be July 13th. And it's always food and fun and music and a lot of laughs, and we'll keep you here. There was one opening in the July and August newsletters are here. Daisy's working on them now. They're headed out today. But we had, and we've got some great entertainment. We're starting, Dennis Fenton's going to start us off with one of his sing-alongs. Everybody always enjoys that. We've got a group called The Real Deal coming in the following week. We've got the police department, the community policing detachment is going to be doing their bingo. Police bingo. They're bringing prizes. I'm curious, but I'm on vacation that week. So the flashback band will be here. Phil Kittredge is going to come talk about he's been doing a great project doing restoring glass negatives of different things in the town. And if you have a chance to go into the fire station, see a couple of them, they're awesome. He's going to talk about that project. We have P.E. James coming in on the 17th to entertain. And then we end on August 24th, rather, with the Westborough Fire Department cookout, which everybody loves. And I can tell you that our fire personnel are very excited to have back this year. So that's our lineup for that.
Alma, quick question for you. So I know you showed up the senior scene. So that's for those folks that may not be familiar, that's a printed newsletter, but it's also available online, correct? Or
yes.
There's a calendar. How do people get to that?
You can get it through the town's website, or you can get it through LPI, who is our publisher. Either way, when it's published, it goes out. You can set it up through the town and through LPI, that they'll immediately email it to you if you want it. I know we have quite a few people who get subscriptions, and sometimes it's people's kids who want to be able to say, hey mom, why don't you go up to the senior center on Tuesday and do whatever. So that's a great resource for families. So.
And Alma, I don't recall, does the senior center, do you mail the monthly newsletter to folks if they request it, or people have to go to the town hall or the senior center?
No, you can pick it up in about 50 different places in town, or we will mail you a copy. Okay. That's actually what's going on right now in the other room. Okay. It's $6 a year to pay for the postage, and we'll mail it to you every month.
Okay, but lots of places around town. I know the library, town hall, senior center, lots of places carry that.
The grocery stores, the banks, the churches, a lot of the restaurants, some of the restaurants, doctor's offices. It's all over the place. Great. And this month it's blue, so
yeah.
I try to make it a different color every month so you can tell the difference. So. The one little caveat to all this, so because we're open on Tuesday nights during those 7 weeks, we will close at 1 o'clock on Fridays after lunch is served. However, if it's hot and the town will stay open, that's not a problem. And the other good thing is that if you are coming to the senior center for a program or for cooling or whatever, there's no charge if you ride the minibus during the summer, during July and August. So
free rides. All right. I like that.
So we'll be continuing dinner at the back door in July and August. We'll be continuing grab and go lunches, and then starting on July, the first Friday in July, which is the 2nd. Oh my goodness, that's Friday. We'll be actually serving congregate lunch here at the senior center. You need to make your reservation by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning or Thursday morning, and lunch will be served at 11:45. So we'll be doing.
So you guys are in full swing. Do you anticipate any trips this summer? I know that historically that's been something folks have looked forward to, but I know, even on the scheduling side, sometimes things have become quickly booked. What's going on there?
Well, now that you mention it, we actually have 2 baseball trips. I know we have a lot of baseball fans here in Westborough. We have a trip on Friday evening, July 30th, up to see the Worcester Bravehearts. We've been up to see them several times over the last few years. And that's a great game. Those are college kids, and baseball's still in its purest form with them. That game's at 6:30. It's the night that the Worcester Men of Song will be there, and there'll also be fireworks afterwards. So you'll be leaving here about 5 o'clock, 5:15, and you should be home around 10. And everybody can enjoy that. And then
That sounds like a great outing.
Yeah, well, I know somebody in your house already wants a ticket, so.
I'm
Then,
sure.
the Worcester, we have a trip up to see the Worcester Red Sox on August 11th. It's a 12:15 pitch. We'll be leaving here at 11. That's very exciting. And then we're very, very happy. We'll be doing our annual Maine clam bake trip on Thursday, August 19th. Bus will be leaving here at 9. We get home sometime between 5 and 6:30, depending how bad the traffic is coming home. And the great thing about that is that the cost of the lobster did not go up this year, so the tickets are still $50 for the day. So,
and is that's a trip to like the York area? Is that
yeah,
correct?
we stop at Stonewall Kitchen. We have the clam bakes at Foster's Down East Clam Bake. We go to York Village. We stop at When Pigs Fly, and we head home. So it's a great day. It's not allowed to rain. I don't allow it, but everybody has a good time, and we look forward to this trip every year. Last year was very disappointing for a lot of people. So
I think that gets. I was going to say, I think that gets to the key. It's so wonderful that it just feels so normal. The things that you're talking about, which would always be, oh yes, and of course we're going to do this, is suddenly like, oh great, we're gonna do it, it just sounds so wonderful. It's just wonderful.
Well, I think I really wanted to concentrate this summer on just getting people back together and back to kind of doing the normal things that they do. Chief Laurie started this past month in June. He started his breakfast with the chief, and we'll be doing that in July and August. Like I said, lunch, we've got Zumba coming, our classical music instructors back. So it's a lot of the normal things that we do that I just want people to get back and starting to feel comfortable being here. There are not mask restrictions at the center unless you have not been fully vaccinated. We ask that you wear a mask, but other than that, there's hand sanitizer all over the place, and the building's cleaned, so you shouldn't feel uncomfortable being here. And we're so happy to have everybody back. So.
For folks going on the trip, how does it work? So for folks that may need a wheelchair or a rollator, if you need a wheelchair to walk kind of long distances, particularly I think about like the game or getting into different places, how does that work? Do you have folks that can help facilitate that, or at least on site the facility has staff?
So if you need to have someone with you for that reason or whatever, if you need to have an aide or a family member with you, they are welcome to come.
Okay.
We certainly the bus drivers that we have from Foxy Travel have been amazing. They'll fold up your rollator or your walker or whatever and tuck it underneath and get it out before you get off the bus. The only thing we ask is that you're able to get on and off the bus by yourself. There is such a thing as wheelchair accessible motor coaches, but they are very hard to come by. And I can't always guarantee, and I hate to say no to somebody, but I don't know, we don't always have access. Foxy does not have one in their fleet. I think the last time we got one, it came from Norwood. And it's not easy to do. And like I said, I hate to say no to anybody, but if we can figure out how to get you on the bus, you're welcome to go. So
Alma, if in the rare instance that maybe someone needed assistance, could not actually get up on the bus, but they had a family member that could bring them to the event and sort of meet the bus, is that Could that be
Oh,
arranged?
yeah.
Could they just call you with this, and arrange that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We've done that we actually have a family. It's interesting. We have a family here in town who has a daughter who's in a wheelchair, and we will take her on our minibus. And they meet her there at,
Oh,
the Christmas
yep.
tree shop or whatever. Or
Sure.
we have another man in town who meets his sister for lunch every so often. So, I mean, we try very hard to accommodate as best we can, as much as we possibly can, because everybody deserves to have a day out. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. So pivoting a little bit, what do you see sort of as sort of put your director hat on, not that you ever take it off, but what do you see as sort of the upcoming needs, as it relates to the town, the senior center, just kind of changing, evolving needs, maybe things that we've learned from the pandemic? What's on the horizon?
What did we learn from the pandemic? Everybody's vulnerable. I think that, I actually had a Zoom meeting a couple months back with the Civic Club, I believe it was, and they asked me what if I could, have anything in Westborough, what would it be? And I said, I would love it if one of the multitudes of health organizations in this area would open a senior daycare center here in Westborough. Not in Northborough, not in Framingham, not in Marlborough, right here in Westborough, because there is such a need for that here. And it gets bigger all the time. I think that as we're seeing the population in town grow a little bit older, and then opening the new over 55 apartments over by the lake and all of that. When you think about it, the Highlands has been there almost 10 years now. The Willows has been there a little bit longer than we've been here, which is 33 years. So there's Walker Meadow and Orchard Hill and Stagecoach and all these places. These people, they've now been there for a while. So people are aging in place. And I think that we will be looking at needing more resources so that people can continue to stay here in Westborough. Like Arthur said, people want to die in their houses and be, this is their home and they want to be here forever. And I don't blame them, quite frankly. I've been getting every day in the mail, I get something from some other realtor in the Blackstone Valley who would love to be able to sell my house, and I'm not selling my house.
Right.
So, but they want to sell my house. So, and I think people get bombarded with that too. But I know a lot. That's their home and that's where they want to stay. So we'd like to be able to offer them resources to be able to do that.
I'm curious, in your circle of professionals, do you know offhand if there, and this is my selectman's hat, but do you know offhand if there are communities that have town or municipal sponsored daycare programs?
Some of the bigger centers on the South Shore, I know, have them, and some out in Western Mass, but not any in this area. None of us really has this facility size for it. Or the staff for it. I know that Marlborough built a new center, but it's certainly not big enough to accommodate that, as well as did Northborough and Hopkinton. But I know, trying to think. I want to say Braintree or Brockton, one of those towns down there, and some of the ones out in Western Mass do have adult day health centers.
Well, I know certainly one of the things, oh, sorry, Arthur, just one comment. I know one of the things I was certainly acutely aware of, and some folks in town may be aware, is that there's this ongoing dialogue of developing an intergenerational community center.
Mm-hmm.
And is that the right path? Do we make improvements to the senior center? I'm not here to kind of offer an opinion on either, but I do think to your point, as we think about forward-looking plans, these are some of the questions we should be asking. So do you build a facility with the understanding that there is this need, there will continue to be this need, the demographics supports it in terms of aging population, to have programs like that, but then can you support and staff them, right? Is there a will attack, and is that the role of the town? We don't have that's a different show, perhaps.
Yeah, it is. But no, I think that certainly, it might be something that the town looks at, but opening an adult day health center, whether it's privately owned or owned by the town, it's a whole other animal as far as regulate. Shelby, working in home care, there's a whole other set of rules and regulations for that. So I'm not sure. I think that, I personally don't have any issues with an intergenerational recreation center. I think that's great, but I think there's still going to always be a need for the senior center to be here to do what we do, not just the social services piece of it, but also the entertainment and the education and that part of it that's very important. And I will say that, and no offense taken, but there are a lot of seniors who just don't like any other kids than their own. So you got to be careful with that too. It's in theory, it's a great idea, but not always in practice. And I've seen it not do well in some other communities. So when they thought that was a great idea. So,
I was just curious, when you're talking about a day center, like what would you imagine happening at the day center? Like, are you thinking a place like, well, I'm on the board at Better Day, the one that was Pleasantries in Marlborough now, that's turned nonprofit. Do you think that is the kind of place that you're looking at? Do you think you're looking at something that has other kinds of services? So I think it is really important. And I think, I've really come to believe too, that every community should have one, that it's very much about being able to have folks who are local, being able to go to a local place and have those services. It's really important. But what are you thinking when you think of that kind of center?
I think Better Day or Pleasantries, when Tammy had it, I think that, the model at Aging Well, where there's a place that, folks can go where they have some of their medical things attended to, showers and baths are given because sometimes the spouse or family member doesn't have the ability to do that. Somewhere where there's activities and whether it's strictly for patients suffering from Alzheimer's or any form of dementia, or whether it's just an age-related issues. I know that years ago, there used to be one here over in where Julio's Plaza is. There was one here. It was run by one of the VNAs from Worcester. And it did very, very well here in Westborough. I remember a lot of people from here that used to go there 2 or 3 times a week or 5 days a week. And families need respite too. And to be able to offer your loved ones someplace to go during the day where they can, be amongst their peers and get some attention and get a couple good meals and play cards or do some physical therapy or some occupational therapy or whatever, and then give the caregivers a little bit of a rest. That's a blessing that's priceless.
Just a blessing. And as you say, it allows everybody. It allows the Frank or Mary who has issues, and also the Frank or Mary who's taking care of the person who has issues, and also to have something that is really close. Because I know I was at one of the Better Day meetings. We actually have somebody there now who's coming from Somerville, because the number of day programs, the closest day program that we kind of know about is in like Wayland, and they're far away. And this is all about the convenience of it, but as you say, both for the senior, who a lot of times really wants to be in that kind of program, because when you're in the program and you're with other folks who've got some memory problems, it's a joke. It's not like you're sticking out. It's just part of the fun. You can say the same knock knock joke 1,000 times. But if you are the caregiver, then it also is that place from which you build, you end up with a network of people who are other caregivers that you can be really close to it. So it's a really, I think it's a wonderful, I think your point is well taken, and every place should have one.
I have a family member who now sadly is in a nursing home, but he had dementia and really struggled some, but his wife also struggled. And if she had had access to someplace like that where he could go a couple days a week, just so she could breathe a little bit, and he could get some attention and some, what's the word I want to use? Entertainment and stimulation and all of that. I mean, that would have been so good for both of them, but unfortunately there wasn't anything like that around where they lived. So.
And that is so much of it, what you said, that ability to breathe, that ability for the caregiver to just have a moment where it's not constant, because it is when you are one-to-one with someone and it changes that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You go from being spouses to my job is to care for you and maintain the house and do everything else. And you do need that. You need that break. And some people are not comfortable in having people come into their home. And even when they have someone coming into their home, it might not feel like a break, because like now I gotta leave to go do something, and I can't just, sit and have a cup of coffee because he or she is still there. Right.
Well, no, or just go get your hair cut, or go, run to the grocery store,
yeah, just
go buy some birthday cards. I mean, you can't,
right.
It's not manageable. So
right. And the ability, to your point, for the individual who is aging and has some particularly cognitive issues, which I think tends to be more of the concern, although certainly physical ailments as well, but for them to be engaged and for them to sort of, not just sleep all day. Right. For them to be engaged and entertained, and then kind of, come home and feel like they were productive in their day. And it's important. So more to come on that.
I was going to say, I always use this line that my sister used, because her husband was actually at Pleasantries, back when Tammy ran it. And we loved it. We just loved it. I recommended a lot of people over there. But one day she picked him up and said, so how was your day? How are you feeling? Oh, I feel terrific. What did you do today? I have no idea. That was the point. It made no difference. What's the who cares?
But it was still a good day.
It was a great day. It was a great day. Now, so Alma, one of my jobs is actually to keep track of time. And I'm looking at the clock, and I want to make sure that we're not running over. And at the end of our shows, I try to ask Shelby to put on her select person hat and say, so what's new? Is there any big thing that folks should be kind of concentrating on just before we end the show? But so Shelby, anything that folks should look at right now?
There's always stuff going on. I guess I would encourage folks. First of all, Alma, thank you very much for being on today.
Oh,
We're
you're welcome.
really
My
excited
pleasure.
That the senior center is opening up. I have actually started to receive some requests from folks for content for our shows, Arthur. So it's very exciting. So I do want to make sure our friend Aiden puts up the contact us with questions or ideas. Yep. We're going to take a couple weeks off throughout the summer because we're tired, right, Arthur? We've been doing this week after week as much as I love it.
Who, me? Right.
But we're going to take a couple weeks off. We'll have some shows here and there that will be new shows, and then we'll hit the ground running again in September. But I want to thank everyone for watching. Please send us your ideas, because the show is good because you find value in it, and we certainly have fun doing it no matter who the guest is. So, and
we get great guests. We get great guests. We get Alma DeManche live from the Senior Center. Alma DeManche, right? So this was a lot of fun. Thanks a million, Alma, for coming on. This was really great. Thank you, Shelby, for doing this. This has been, especially during the pandemic, I think this has been a help to a lot of people for a lot of time. And I think everybody, including us, is looking forward to just taking a breath. You just get the summer and you take a breath. So thank you, Alma. Thank you, Shelby. Thank you, folks, for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. As Shelby has said, we're going to take some time off in the summer, but we want to be ready in the fall. And we know that a lot of people are actually interested in what the shows could be and also in coming on. So let us know. Let us know. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the next installment or the reruns of Frank and Mary here in Westborough. Thank you.